super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Every time I hear that, I absolutely love Phil's voice in that. It cracks me up to no end. He misses calling.
He has a voice for radio.
He should be doing voiceovers for live game shows. No question.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should never have joined the Army. He should have never been EOD. He should have been alongside Bob Barker, making good things happen.
Yeah.
Live chat. There we are. Welcome to From the Ashes, folks. We are back in the super secret location. I was able to escape California thanks to all of the efforts from our Underground Railroad. I made it home safely despite all the hunter-killer teams trying to find me and shut us down. So we made it back. So, yeah, missed you a lot, man.
I know.
You, how on the other hand, crushed it. Well done to you driving this train wreck.
I got signed in.
Dude, I mean, it's very rare that you're like, no, man, I don't think I'm up for this. And you handled it like a semi-pro, dude.
I will always say I'm not up for this when it has to do with multiple technology things going on. I'm like, what do I need to log into? How do we go live? Like, not my dig.
And you killed it like a champ, man.
I got signed in.
That's how easy it is, folks. If you're listening to this right now, that's how easy it is to have your own radio show. We can make this happen for you. If this is something that interests you, reach out to us. We would love to give you your own radio show on About Face Media. Just talk to WTF Moments. Thank you so much to WTF Moments for all of their support. WTF Radio. They've got some great things going on. Lots of great shows on About Face Media. Kim Lenling, I love her show. And if you haven't read her book, you should absolutely do that. Marty Smith with the Swearing In podcast is an excellent show. All of the stories of our generation he is telling on the Swearing In podcast. It's awesome. Who else do we like? We like a lot. Pat Alfrey, or you guys know him as Adam Baum, has an excellent radio show. Max Way is excellent. He's been on hiatus for the summer, but his show is the best thing ever. Ooh, is that Max? What did he say? Did he mention me? Did he say my name?
No. So you know why I didn't even have a chance to change into appropriate attire.
It makes me uncomfortable that you're wearing shorts that are so long.
It's because a neighbor called and I had to go tow a Ford.
Yeah.
And then I had to stick the phone out and take a picture. Because I love to make fun of my godmother and say, hey, so I'm towing a Ford again. So we go back and forth on that whole Ford, Dodge, Chevy talk. So she's responding to me sending her that picture of towing a Ford.
Well, when my rifle gave up on me this past weekend.
Oh, I'm so pissed about that.
Yeah, me too. The Bears weren't, though. The Bears were like, oh, thank God. I'm pretty sure while I was taking a nap in the woods, a bear walked over with one of his tiny claws and just loosened that screw. What do you call it? That was my first thought is, why can't everything be as reliable as a Toyota pickup truck?
Sure.
Look, man, it starts every time I turn the key. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but whenever you buy a truck and a complimentary pair of Birkenstocks come with it, I'm out, bro.
What's wrong with the stocks? Even though we love combat flip-flops around here, go to combat flip-flops and used to go, I managed to fit that in.
I don't even want to say this, but I own a pair of Birkenstock now.
You do?
Two.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I tore a pair of flippy floppies and I was out. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I was trying to find something, nothing I liked, and I found this pair of croc rubber Birkenstocks. None of the cork and hippie stuff.
For $30, right?
I put them on. And I was like, oh,
these things are kind of comfy.
These are kind of great.
I feel dirty.
And then I ended up having one of the real cork ones or whatever those are called.
Yeah,
they're kind of great, but I judge myself every time I put them on.
They're expensive.
That's
Junior,
way too expensive too, by the way.
I agree, and we don't get a discount because they don't sponsor the show. But Combat Flip Flops does.
Yeah, because they're not commie hippie weirdos.
Junior wears the pair of Birkenstocks that I bought when I lived in Germany 25 years ago.
Yeah, they don't really wear out.
They don't. He's had them resold a couple of times, and yeah, they do not wear out. Yeah. Troy Lootman is watching. Well, Troy, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here. Troy is our guest next week, so he's listening in to be like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
And now we got to hope and pray he doesn't cancel next week.
Exactly. Hey, man, we got you, dude. We're going to get through this together. Troy does Veterans Court.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's going to be on next week to talk all about that. I'm kind of excited about that. What do you call it? It is 6:06 p.m. That means it is time for Combat Carl.
But we're going to call him Combat Carl?
I guess so. We don't even need to read a story.
No, don't have to pull it up.
Because the whole nation knows exactly what we're talking about.
And if they don't, it's easily Googled.
Yeah, all you got to do is get a little Google on.
You know what? It was great when you sent me this morning. I was like, oh, you're all right. You're like, we have the perfect Carl. It's right here. I'm like, I guess we do. So it's your story. You run with it, and then I'll add to, I guess.
United States Marine Corps.
The Navy, folks.
What's up, dude? What are you guys doing? You lost a whole fucking F-35? How does that happen? You can tell. Look, how? Did somebody not dummy cord it to their waist? I mean, how did these things happen? Picking on Dr. Robert Garcia later? Oh, yes. Yes, we absolutely are. USMC. I mean, you're going down in history. How do you lose an $85 million plane? Pilot ejects, and now the United States government is like, dear people of the United States, if you see an F-35 Raptor fly over your neighborhood, please call 911. Seriously?
Hey, if you just happen to have, an F-35 sitting in your backyard, can you call the Pentagon, let them know where it's at? That's okay. So, folks,
and I'd love to get that phone call.
The United States Marine Corps, Department of the Navy pilot was flying this F-35. He had to eject. Doesn't matter the cause. Okay, whatever. He had to eject. They cannot find the F-35, and they have reached out to the public. The public. They reached out to the public to say,
I'm in the public.
Can you help us find our F-35?
The super secret, like warp drive / camouflage / nobody can see it. Anybody seen an airplane?
I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Did you ever lose, not you per se, did anybody in your unit ever lose a sensitive item?
Yes.
And you go under lockdown?
Yes.
Okay, can you elaborate?
So in 1999, I show up to 135 Armor in Baumholder, Germany. My family's not there yet. Cell phones, I had like one of those Samsung brick cell phones. Yeah. Welcome to the unit. Processing is going to be very easy. Oh, it is? Okay, cool. Why is that? We're locked down. To what? What does that mean? Yeah, someone lost a set of nods. Ooh, that can't be good. And so we've been locked down. And they found them in the arms room. But we were locked down for like a month. It was like being back in basic training, marching to and from the chow hall. You couldn't leave the work area or the cantonment area. You were either in the motor pool, in the aid station, in your people in the barracks couldn't go to the barracks.
Okay.
It was we slept in the aid station.
I think mine's similar.
Leave it to the Navy to lose a jet.
But totally different.
Hey, Crystal Rodenbaugh's watching. Oh, that's
I know.
impressive.
She just texted me and say she landed safely. So
hi from football practice. Yay, taxpayers need big explanation. Left on autopilot. I love this story. The dude punched the autopilot button and ejected. That thing is somewhere over Montana right now. I love this story.
Oh man, I really hope. I will say this. I really hope nobody got hurt. Like I hope it didn't like crash somewhere inappropriate. Or
agreed, and I hope the pilot is okay. Agreed. Yeah. Now that that's out of the way.
From what I read, he was fine.
Now that that's out of the way, what the fuck, USMC?
We'll be joking about that the whole show. So my lockdown experience was, I was not just showing up to a unit. I was in E5 or maybe E6. I think probably E6 because of some of the things I had to do during it. But, went to the field, no big deal, turn everything in, go home. We're home for a little bit. Everybody needs to come back in, go back in. We can't find an ASIP radio that's loaded. Ooh. So there's a little difference in there.
Ooh, and you're in Hawaii at that point.
I'm in Hawaii.
Ooh.
So we have a loaded ASIP radio. So not loaded with ammo, that means loaded with intel, which intel from a training op is irrelevant, but either way, it's still a loaded radio with call signs and things like that. So
either way, a battalion commander is getting bad at OER.
We ended up on lockdown, I believe, and I'm sure somebody who's listening to the show was in the unit with me, will correct me, but I believe it was approximately 40 days. We were at the battalion.
The wolf pack was put in the pen.
I was with the Wolfhounds at the time. Again, I could have been 20, but I think it was 40. So we were there for an extended time. The barracks guys could not go to the barracks, even though the building was 10 feet away.
Yeah, same.
We were sleeping on cots in the lanai, in the parking lot. Family members that were dependents, non-dependents, no. Dependents got to come visit for 20 minutes. There was like a 2-hour block, 20-minute visitation. And then we had this soldier who sometimes logs into the show.
That's awesome. I love it.
He was currently AWOL and had a substance abuse problem.
Okay.
And they were like, "Do you think he has it?"
This is one of our listeners?
Sometimes.
I love this story.
He was going through a very tough time. He has made it through. He's doing amazing. But he had kind of been under my, leadership at one point. So, do you think it's him? Do you think you can find him? I'm like, the fucker's underneath a bridge doing meth. Like, I don't know if I can find him. I ended up like chasing him down, high speed,
tackling him at the 7-Eleven.
No, car. I see him. Like, let me check your car to see if you have this. Okay, take back off. I don't even want to deal with you. But yeah, like I'm all the way out in North Shore, Hawaii. Come to find out, hey, Private Carl found this fucking thing in his ruck and was like, "Oh shit," and put it in the dumpster.
Wow. And that's what we were doing. We were hoeing out dumpsters. Going
out through dumpsters. It's crazy. Yeah, but I mean, we can't let those things get out. There's a reason they're sensitive items.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done a lot.
I've heard Joe Allen says, holler. What do you call it? What's up, man? How's married life? At least they didn't drag you back to the field.
No.
Because I've heard of units like, welcome back. We're going back to the field and it's hand across the box.
Yeah.
Until we find, like, if you lose something at like NTC, JRTC. I've seen a lot of
crazy things.
Yes. Horrible, catastrophic things. And
oh my God. Yes.
It is awful sometimes, the things that you see. I've seen all kinds of shit like that. It's bananas. Never it was only when I was combat arms, never like aviation.
Well, do they allow non-combat arms to have sensitive items?
I like what you did there. Not that I'm aware of. Like aviation, no. And obviously, when I was assigned to special operations, nobody know.
Yeah, you just don't.
That doesn't happen. Up.
Yeah. So I'm curious, which is something I did not find. Is that aviation unit or whatever you want to call it? Are they under lockdown until they find this F-35?
That's a great.
I was on lockdown for one little fucking radio.
Yeah, that's this big. So we have listeners. My buddy Ron Buys listens to the show very regularly and is probably listening right now. Ron, I would love the answer to this question. So if you lose a pistol in the Air Force, Army, Navy, whatever, units locked down. What happens if you lose a whole airplane? I mean, is everybody locked down? And
because an airplane represents more than just a pilot.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit strapped to that thing.
A large unit. Does that whole unit get shut down?
That's great.
Because when we got shut down over radio, it wasn't that team. It wasn't that squad. It wasn't that platoon.
Yeah. We can ask Robert Garcia. He was in the or is currently in the Air Force. He might know the answer to that. Let's ask him because I like where this is going. Robert, can you hear me, bud?
Comms are good, sir.
Dude, I love a guest that shows up drinking a beer on the show. That's why you're here, sir. Well done to you.
So many tattoos, man. I got to make up for it for being an untatted piece of shit.
Did you hear the conversation we were having before you came on?
No, I missed it. Was it about the Marines losing an F-35?
In fact, it is, sir. It is exactly that. This is one of the greatest stories that we've ever had on this show. So being Air Force, I don't know what you do in the Air Force. We'll get to that in a hot second. Yeah, pardon. He's got a cough. It's allergy season here in Colorado. Yeah. If a plane goes if we lose a pistol, a radio in the Army, your unit is locked down. In the Air Force, if you lose a whole plane, Does the unit get locked down, and how big a unit? I mean, are we talking flights, or are we talking how big?
Okay. So I was joking about this today online. I was saying that in a case like this, they're going to pull in for the Marines. They're going to pull in the crew chief. They're going to pull in the air traffic controller. They're going to pull in the cop guarding the plane. They're going to cut pay for everybody, no liberty for like 3 months. The pilot's going to meet the CO. He's going to have a glass of whiskey. They're going to knock rings. And then the guy's going to get like a shitty call sign for the rest of his desk career.
That's even better.
Is knocking rings kind of like touching tips? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know how
that's
the Air
called
Force gets
docking now in the, yes, I believe that's what it's called. Well, only if you're uncut. I believe it's called docking now in the modern military. I'm not sure. You're in the Air Force. You would have to tell me that. I don't really know the details there.
You pronounce Navy wrong.
Okay.
We don't cross the equator and have antiquated customs like my Navy brethren do. Seen some horrifying photos. So, no, in all seriousness, so I come from an active duty B-52 maintainers, not fighters but bombers. But and lost inventory, just like in the Army and the Marines with like firearms, it is a big deal for several reasons. Losing a whole effing jet. What would probably happen in theory is that the squadron that the jet belongs to will have safety briefings for like forever. Safety briefings follow idiocy, and this is a very weird case because they still haven't found the freaking thing. They still haven't located it. Joint Base Charleston is actually issuing public service announcements saying, "Hey, if you've seen our jet, call this number."
And this, like, we haven't even said this, and I think I know the answer, but aren't these jets equipped with what would be called a black box? Like, aren't these trackable? How do you lose? Like,
well, no, it's not trackable. That's the whole point of the thing.
Trackable by us, at least, right?
You'd like to think that, but if it's got its super secret cloaking device turned on before the guy ejected, I mean,
why would he turn on the secret? Ooh, super secret cloaking device.
I like Joe Allen's answer.
Ejects.
Aliens.
Okay. Fucking ET took the motherfucker.
I love this. So what do you think his call sign is going to be? I mean, you know what, listeners, I want to hear from you. What do you think this poor, it's a major, this poor major's call sign is going to be for the rest of his Marine Corps career? I mean, is he lost one?
That's what I put today. Lost. Like the TV show. That's it. He's going to be lost forever.
With lost on it,
and issued a wooden spoon as his weapon from here on.
That is exactly, and it'll be tied to him.
Yeah,
since you can't keep a fucking plane, here, keep this wooden spoon or wooden gun and dummy cord it to your flight suit. I love this story.
Hey, so for everybody that's a civilian watching this, it's perfectly okay for us to make fun of this bastard because he lived. Had he died, we would show a respectful 5 days for him to at least be buried. Then we'd fucking make fun of him.
Yeah, but that is literally how we started the segment. Hey, you're exactly right. Hey, glad you're okay. I heard you made it out. Now that's Milk Carton. Joe Allen says his name is going to be Milk Carton. That is awesome. Joe Allen, you are winning right now. You are absolutely winning. Carton. I can't end the show. I'm done. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have joining us this evening Robert Garcia, the warrior strategist. Robert, thank you for being a part of the show. Muchas gracias, he says. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us about your military career.
Okay. Active duty Air Force at Barksdale in Louisiana. I joined at 21. And everything you guys make fun of the Air Force for, I have lived. And when I went through, because I'm old, it was 6 weeks of basic training, the shortest of any service. And there were still dudes crying in their pillow. I was tempered. I was tempered by life going in, so I was a little bit more accustomed to being away from home and My family was really bad. A lot of drugs, a lot of alcoholism, police arresting people on warrants, like some wild shit. And so I joined so I could like try and make something in my life and not be a fuck up. So I did 5 years, and then I moved to San Diego, joined the reserves, and then I've just had a really strange Forrest Gumpish life with like half the charm and a quarter of the intellect.
Double the ping pong.
Yeah, I've been like, and about the same taste in women too. God, wasn't Jenny a goddamn nightmare? I get mad when I watch that movie.
Why are you holding it in? Why are you holding it in? You're going to pee on yourself if you keep holding it in like this.
The greatest ping pong players I've ever met are in the Air Force.
Oh, this is the
Number
best.
one, but when you say girls, is that because you like ping pong girls? Like the ping pong show girls?
No, he likes whores with AIDS, apparently.
It's the same thing.
I'm so glad we finally got you on the show. This is so awesome. Oh my God. You've been a friend of the show and the station for like 2 years, 3 years now. So you've been a huge supporter, constantly sending us guests and suggestions and, hey, how can I help? And nothing but good stuff. And we sincerely appreciate it. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, tell us what you're doing with your life now. And I love the title Warrior Strategist.
Yeah. So like a lot of veterans that get out of service, it took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to have a boss. I fucking kind of hate people, and I'm socially awkward as fuck. So I ended up transitioning into, and everything kind of led up to PR and visibility. I'm not a PR guy. I'm not a digital marketer. I'm not a guru, any of that stupid bullshit. I just honed like 6 skills and I put them under an umbrella of visibility. And then 6 years ago, in my infinite wisdom, I started a business magazine called Shift Advanced Life Design. And all of this came together. So I taught myself how to write press releases. I taught myself how to write magazine articles for people. I've gotten 14 people on the news. So I provide visibility services as an independent consultant. I run an agency from home. I drink Michelob, live in San Diego. I was a skateboarder for like 30 years. I honestly, man, I never thought my life would be this good. And in all seriousness, for half a second, like just being a veteran is super cool. I interact with veterans 90% of the day. They're a bunch of fucking degenerates, and I love them to death. And it's I'm just very blessed to have a good life. People like you that support what I do, and we're able to do some very, very good things. And the fact that I can send somebody to you and you can tell their story and make their life better is a huge asset. Just like you can, reach out to me about something. So that's what I do right now is I do visibility stuff and just help people to get out of their shell. Because a lot of veterans have great businesses. They just don't know how the fuck to get on the news, or they don't know how to like do social media right. They don't know how to get their story out there. And so I'm the bridge. I help people to, figure out what it is that makes them famous.
And Michael Peterson makes an excellent point. You are a PhD, correct?
I am. I have a doctorate in education.
That is outstanding. That is the stories we like to hear as well, is not enough veterans are accessing their education benefits and going as far as they possibly can. So well done to you. And I love hearing stories like that.
I take that as a personal attack.
It was a personal attack.
I know.
I'm glad you picked up on it so quickly. I can't even spell associate's degree, much less hold one.
I got more than that. Ish.
That's awesome. That is outstanding. So Shift, and you're just giving a really tip of the iceberg with Shift Magazine. There's a lot more to what you do. Tell us a little bit more about some of the stuff that you do besides just Shift Magazine.
The greatest thing about what I do, as far as in conjunction with Shift, is the causes. And so I like to gather together groups of veteran business owners and raise money for people that need it at a local level. I'm not like one of these crazy veteran charities that lops off like 40% for overhead and coke and strippers and all the fun shit. I don't provide like some crazy overpriced service that barely gives back to the community, Black Rifle Coffee. It's just a matter of finding somebody that's got a need and then raising money and directly giving it to them. So I've gotten a veteran like out of a homeless shelter in Escondido and helped him secure housing. I've helped a Navy vet that was having trouble in a domestic situation. She was moving and needed money for housing. I did a fundraiser for her. And then lately I got 5 guys together And there's this para athlete named Brian Big Country Conwell, Army vet, and he lost both his legs. We raised a bunch of money to help him go on his summer tour to be able to compete. And he's won all these fucking medals. He's an incredible guy. So it's just things like that at a smaller level that I really enjoy doing, just helping people that deserve it.
We love Big Country here. His story is absolutely inspirational. What a monster of a human being. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's terrifying looking. He's the nicest guy ever, but I would never fuck with him. He's like 7 feet tall. He's now officially like a Terminator. Tatted up. He looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin's like more pissed off older brother, but solid dude, family man, father of 6, and I'm telling you, man, he's the nicest guy I've ever fucking met.
Again, friend of the show, listens to us, shares our stuff, talks about, interacts with us. I've never actually met him face to face, but yeah, I would not fuck with that dude. and I get my ass kicked by great men on a semi-regular basis, and I would not fuck with that guy. So yeah, that's awesome. Did you want to put out what you just got? Or is it not? Or should we wait?
I mean, I feel like I got to announce it. It's unverified because I can't gazoogle right now, but per Dr. Linda Rodenbaugh, a debris field was found and identified Monday as the remains of an F-35 fighter jet that went missing a day earlier near Charleston, South Carolina, after its pilot ejected.
So it sounds like it crashed. Hopefully everyone on the ground is safe and no one was injured, and hopefully it went well. Right now we don't have all the information, but hopefully everybody's okay. What do you call it? What were you looking at? Oh, look at some of the comments. Have you guys tried 22 Salute vodka? We have not tried 22 Salute. We are sober. We don't know. Neither of us drink, so we have not tried 22 Salute vodka. Is it good, Michael Peterson? Tell us more about it. Yeah. What else? There's some good questions in here. I was in it. Great magazine. I bet you were. Yeah, that's some good shit right there. What do you call it? How do you find all of these veterans with these amazing organizations and great? Nicholas Ron should link you up with Robert. Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. Do you know Nicholas Ron yet?
I don't think so.
Warriors Next Adventure?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, we're gonna connect you with him.
We're linking you up.
Yeah, you're good people. He's equally good people. Together, you make a half of a decent person. He's a great guy. No, wait, I'm bad at fractions. How did that go?
I don't know. I feel like that was a very backhanded comment. Either way you look at it.
Rob likes to poke people in the eye. Be careful. Hey, they have it coming sometimes.
As we bring him up.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Nicholas Ron is watching.
Nicholas Ron, you just missed 10 seconds earlier. We were talking about you. We wanted you to meet our guest.
Robert hit me up. You guys are you're good people. You're gonna be thick as thieves before too long. How do you come across all of these great people? How do you? Is there an organization? I mean, how do you come across all of these great people? Because you send us some of the best, man.
I appreciate that. And I have a very, I actually have a pretty stringent vetting system. For somebody to be in my network, they've got to be ethical. I can't have heard like numerous complaints about them. They've got to help their community, and they've got to have like no fucking ego. They can't be a dickhead. They can't like be completely full of themselves or constantly like self-promoting, like solopreneur. I hate that shit. I am the social media admin for Vetpreneur Tribe, which is 16,000 veterans, a great Facebook group. That is where I find a lot of these stories, and I meet some of these new people. And if they are worthy, like Thor's hammer, they can join the network, and we can do some stuff together. I'll promote them. I will trust people until they give me a reason not to.
See, that's the kind of shit we like around here too. We're pretty close to exactly with that line of thinking. What's next? Where are you going from here?
Right now, I'm currently working on a couple of projects with some higher end people, which is great. I have, and I'll be sending her your way, but I'm working with a very high profile former Marine who's going to be doing some stuff with politics. There's a book project I'm a part of, and it's very hush hush right now, but that's been the focus of my energy. I'm growing Shift Magazine. I'm just about to interview Sergeant Major Mike Vining from Delta Force, who might be one of the most famous operators of all time. EOD from Vietnam era, Vietnam vet. He's like meme famous. His service uniform picture is terrifying. Like if you're into Army history and you start seeing the decks and stuff, Mike Vining has served in like Grenada. He was in like all these crazy campaigns, and he wears like glasses. He looks like an accountant. He looks like the nicest guy ever. And that dude is stacked bodies like a motherfucker. You can see.
Guys I'm worried about. Yeah. I completely agree. Those are the guys that make me nervous. If you look like you could easily complete my 1040 EZ, you make me nervous.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy ever, and he called me one night on the phone, like no notice. And I was fanning out because I've just read about this guy my entire life, and he was like one of the first members of Delta ever. And just hearing about his career was fucking crazy. So I'm excited because I'm setting up some interviews for him. He's probably going to be in Shift Magazine, and I've the coolest thing about the magazine, honestly, is I've gotten to interview some really, really interesting people. There's a guy. My second issue I put out, I was super nervous. And, you know, you're a media platform owner. And in the early days, you're kind of nervous about it. You have the imposter syndrome. You're like, fuck, this isn't a real thing. Why would anyone want to interview with me? Blah, blah, blah. The second issue, I reached out to this guy who had served in Mogadishu. And it turns out he was a sniper for SEAL Team 6 in Mogadishu. And he became a chiropractor. His name's Dr. Howard Wasden. He recently passed away in a plane crash, actually, sadly. But he gave me a tremendous interview like 6 years ago. He sent me all these pictures I've never seen before. He talked about going from like being super poor in Georgia and then joining the SEALs and then qualifying for SEAL Team 6, fighting in Mogadishu, just having this crazy, crazy career. Great dude. And that's the beauty of having a media platform, having a magazine, is that you can reach out to people and tell their story. I've interviewed Delta Force. I've interviewed SEAL Team 6. I've interviewed Army Rangers. One of the latest guys we interviewed, Jovan Corals, is in the Navy SEAL History Museum in Florida. He just finished hosting some kind of special forces show on Fox where they tapped him on Instagram because he was a SEAL forever. He's a retired SEAL, and he became the host, and he got to put all these shitty celebrities through like special forces training. Tara Reid, or as I like to call her, my future ex-wife, a bunch of other people from reality TV and shit. But and I met him in San Diego, great dude, and he's a rising star, dude. So that's the beauty of having a magazine, having this network where I can reach out to people that I'm fucking scared shitless of and just, hey, let's talk, let's have an interview.
More important than that, people want to subscribe. How can they subscribe to Shift Magazine?
ShiftLifeDesign.com, and you can read it for free. I have never charged for subscriptions. You can read it for free. I'm putting an archive on the website so you can access past issues. That's in the works. And right now, you just pop in your email, click on the cover, and you can read it. Pop in your email, and I will send them out to you every time an issue comes out.
Wow. Robert, we want to be as respectful of your time as possible. My hetero life mate is going to give you the rules, the ground rules real quick.
I kind of wanted to keep you on longer, but
keep them on as long as you want, man. Keep talking to them. It's your show. Again, we want to be respectful of your time. At the end of one of our guests coming in, we always give them 2 minutes. 2 minutes to talk about things that you wanted us to bring up and we didn't. If we glossed over something, we don't keep time. You got about 2 minutes. Tell us whatever you want.
All right, cool. I just want to say to everyone watching this, support veteran media. So there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of great magazines besides mine. Christine at Addie's Magazine does a ton for people. There's Military Influencer Magazine. There's all these great podcasts and media platforms that veterans work very, very hard to keep going. They put tons of hours into to tell your story. So if you see something like this, you see this show, share it. If you think the guest is interesting, like share it out. Tell people to pay attention and watch. Just like I said, veterans put out these great pieces of content, whether it's a magazine or a podcast or a radio show, whatever. Help them out. Share their shit. Get more eyes on what they're doing. I mean, they're out here like a lot of times unpaid doing this stuff so they can help you. That's my best advice.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's pretty good shit, man. I agree completely with it. We had what's his name from Ranger Up? Nicholas, what the heck was his name? The guy that runs Ranger Up. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he made this impassioned speech about how small businesses are the engine of our economy. And I could not agree more, because if you think it through, the Home Depots of the world, the Lowe's, all of them, Nick Palmisano, thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Small businesses are the engine of our nation's economy. The Home Depots of the world, the Lowe's, all those, their whole job is to create profit, and to do that, human capital is the first thing that is cut in order to make said profit. However, small businesses in our nation, that's what keeps our nation going, to be completely honest. And there are millions of small businesses across our nation. So yes, I agree completely. If you have a veteran-owned business, reach out to Shift Magazine. They would love to have you. Reach out to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We would absolutely love to shine more light on what it is that you're doing. This is how we make our time.
And buy some advertising. That's how you can support. Buy some advertising, make those partnerships. Because, for example, when somebody advertises in Shift, I go on social media personally and I promote their shit. Maybe I'll write an article about them. Maybe I'll spend all day making TikToks about their business, whatever. I make custom cooking videos, and I feature Mike Peterson's knives. He sent me some knives, and they're amazing, very high quality.
I saw those knives on there. I didn't realize that's who we had on with us in the audience right this second.
Mike's on the History Channel. He's fucking famous.
Dude, so I am just now, over the last 5 months, learning how to cook. And
Nice.
So, yeah, and I didn't realize that my Walmart knives suck ass. You would never know that if you, they've just sat in a knife block for years, untouched. I just use the steak knives. So, Michael, I will be reaching out to you in the very, very near future, because, yeah, I want one of your knives, man. I love what you guys
Mike has taught me so much about knives in the knife game. Like he taught me that a lot of the Damascus knives out there are made from like bumpers and shit from Pakistan, and that's why they don't last long or they oxidize really quick. Mike's stuff hand forged. This guy's out there with the apron like a fucking blacksmith from 1892, making it happen.
That's awesome. Those are the kind of things I love. I love hearing that shit. Robert, again, I want to be as respectful as your time. I know you got work to get done. I know you're one of those guys that burns the midnight oil, so I don't want to burn all of your time this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with a good friend of the show, Robert Garcia, with Shift Magazine. He's doing amazing things. The Warrior Strategist. Reach out to him. The cheap shit from Amazon. Yes, that's me. But not for much longer. The Warrior Strategist. Ladies and gentlemen, find him on all of these social media platforms. Follow along. This is the group you're looking for. Be a part of it. Robert, I can't thank you enough for being a part of the show tonight. Really appreciate your time this evening.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I had fun.
Have a great rest of your night. That's some good shit right there. See, that I love veteran businesses and veterans having success. That is the whole reason why you're watching what we do right this second.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also very thankful for him helping us with guests. We talked about this the last couple of days. You're like, we're talking about who we want to get and all these different things. I'm like, this is the list of what I'm trying to accomplish. Don't ask for the list of what I've accomplished and gotten on the show.
Let's talk about that list for just a I know the bottom one was President Trump. Hey, I'm working on it.
That was doable.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I mean, we already know he listens to the show, so I mean,
well, yeah, doesn't everybody?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Former presidents and soon to be presidents again. Absolutely. Yeah. When I shared your list, you have Jason.
You shared my list?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Jason Momoa came up as, oddly enough, with our female listeners. We're like, hey, let us know when that show is scheduled. Yeah. It's so weird, man. I didn't know you were a Momoa fan.
Dude, huge Momoa fan. And he's about to have a new Aquaman movie. I'm a huge Aquaman fan.
Seriously?
You're a superhero nerd. Aquaman is like up there.
Well, our executive producer's office on the 2 floors up with all of the action figures around it. Yes, I know who you are. That's good stuff. Heather Rodenbaugh is watching. Who the heck is Heather Rodenbaugh? She has the same last name as you.
I know. It's either my cousin or my sister-in-law.
No shit. Well, that's cool.
I have to look closer to see which one it is. But.
Yeah. I couldn't tell either. But what do you call it? Who else did you have on there? You had on a couple other good ones. Who else on the list?
I thought this was supposed to be between you and me and funny.
Oh no! I had to share it. I absolutely had it because I you know when you're laughing so hard you have to put the phone down to laugh.
Yeah,
that was me when you
and
shared
there was
that
people
bit.
in the room.
Yeah. Who else did you have? You had some good ones on there. But I agree. Who would you guys like us to have on the show? If you had a dream interview, who would it be? Well, other than the list you already shared.
It wouldn't be that list.
Okay. If you had a dream interview, you could interview anyone from 6:15 p.m. to 6:35 for 20 minutes on this show. Who's it going to be? DC Comics are cool. Brogan Rodenbaugh is watching. Dude, wow. Do you have a tribe or something?
Rodenbaughs are scary. That's my brother. Though.
I'm aware.
I do throw this one out here because I would love to do an interview with him, and it throws people a big curveball. But I would love to interview and sit down with Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah, I can understand why that would be a curveball.
I know.
What? Okay. I've got to dig into this one. Why?
I mean, his wife can jump off a cliff, but there's just there's a few different things I would love to talk to him about and ask him about.
Okay. I did not see that. I did not see that.
I know that. That's why I like to say that one, but he's in my top 5.
Well, come on up, Kat.
A lot of people that I've wanted to meet and talk to in life, I've gotten to. Randy Couture is one of them. I got to sit down and talk to him before. BJ Penn, my favorite fighter of all time. Yours too.
Agreed.
Not only have I gotten to meet him several times and talk to him, I've gotten to do a 2-day seminar or a day and a half seminar, or whatever, with him for a while.
That had to be awesome.
Yeah, amazing. Taught me how to stretch.
Yeah, I bet he did. I will never forget.
I was with the All Army Fight Team at the time, and he came in. We're all thinking we're getting some voodoo fucking techniques. He was
Wasn't he hitting go-go platas and shit in the UFC? And you're like,
you need to stretch. And I'm like, huh? It's because I think it's because I don't think of the uber celebrities as somebody I give a flying fuck about talking to or meeting. There are certain influential people in areas of my life that I would like to meet and talk to. And usually you can end up meeting them if you put yourself in the right circles and stuff. So a lot of people I've got to talk to.
You'll never get the Kardashians on this show, and we would never have them on this show. So
yeah, a Kardashian?
No, not even.
The screen's not big enough for those asses.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of plastic. I don't want to melt it.
That was a two-sided comment.
It was, in fact, it was.
Okay.
Dana White.
Oh, fuck me, yeah, absolutely.
I would really love to interview Dana White.
I have, man. This is a ways back, but I did get a conversation with him. And I'm blanking on his name for Telly, whatever, the matchmaker for UFC.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
The lawyer guy.
Yeah.
I did get a very short conversation with him via text.
Really?
Time, but it was very direct about a certain fighter, and that was it. So, but yeah, absolutely, because it's not just the fact of what he's accomplished; it's the way he's accomplished it.
With 2 middle fingers
in the air. His way.
Yep.
And 2 middle fingers in the air, like you said, but he did it his way. He didn't compromise his way. He's admitted when he was wrong on something. I thoroughly appreciate that. That's something that I've been wrong before. I don't know if you knew this. My wife's never seen it, but
yeah, I haven't either. We keep talking.
Okay. But when I have been, I've been very, very quick to acknowledge it and say, I was wrong here, I fix it, or I'll fix it, or I'll work on fixing it, whatever. And that's something where he's made bad decisions before and he fixes them, he works on them. I appreciate a lot of things about him.
Yeah, when it was a very long time ago, but when him and Tito Ortiz were having sweat with each other,
and he's when they almost boxed.
And that's exactly what I was just about to bring up. Yeah, exactly. And you see Dana White working out in his hotel room and whatnot. He took it serious.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, we're going to throw down. That's Tito Ortiz. That's a professional fighter.
Yes.
And you're going to step in the ring with that guy?
Dana White used to box a little bit.
I get it. But that's like me saying that because I punched a bag once or twice, I boxed a little bit.
But he boxed a little bit more than a little bit. So, I mean, I would have paid a lot to see that.
Yeah.
And I think that what was comical is I think that Dana White took that real fucking serious.
He did.
And I think Tito realized that and knew that he was not taking it serious. at all.
I love the way
But-
that went down.
Either way. Yeah.
So I've been to Vegas a couple of times, most of the times with the Army, and so obviously did not have a beard at that time. And walking around Vegas, and people would stop me, "Are you Dana White?" And I would always say, "Yes, I am." And people would take pictures with me, and I'd sign autographs and shit. And so I used to tag him on Instagram and be like, "Do people walk around Vegas asking Dana White, 'Hey, are you Rob Williams?'" And I think I got like a heart once, and that was about it. But
When I was a little bit younger and a little bit more yoked up, I used to get Colin Farrell all the time.
I can see that,
Especially with like the perfect length of beard.
Did you like switch on the brogue accent and start help it out?
No, I don't think I was. It always happened when I was like a little bit younger. Now it doesn't happen anymore.
Well, it's because you got the flowing locks.
I've gotten better looking. He's gone downhill.
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
Yes, I totally get it.
So
I've got a great guy to interview, my brother and fellow bladesmith, Spicy Mike, also Mike Curley. Hey, man, we love
Can we
talking
have
to people.
Spicy Mike and Mike Curley at the same time?
I want to talk to Spicy Mike. I mean, yeah, Spicy Mike sounds like my kind of people.
But you
You are not Colin, my guy. Our listeners are the best.
I would also like to have Tito Ortiz on.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because he was married to Jenna?
No, I don't care about that. No, he's a huge military supporter.
I'm aware.
Very, very big. Super patriotic. I think with Tito, you get what you get
Well, yeah.
off camera. I think you get what you get, probably. You know, so I think I'd enjoy that one.
He was in this band I can't stand. I think
Band?
Seether. He was in their music video
Oh, okay.
as dressed as Uncle Sam, and he was kicking the shit out of, I forget who he was kicking the shit out of, but it was an awesome video. Dude, Spicy Mike is awesome. What the fuck, man? I love that our fans have fans.
Right?
This is awesome. Spicy Mike is awesome, and what a best nickname ever. It's not as good as Milk Carton, but it's still pretty awesome.
And now Kyle's even talking about it. All right. I guess we'll have to check something new out.
Yeah, I guess I know what we're doing after the show tonight.
Hopefully Brazzers
Reaching out to
doesn't
Spicy
pull up.
Mike.
I don't want to type in Spicy Mike and Brazzers pulls up. I'm not opening that link.
I actually really want that to happen. So that's, yeah, we'll see how that goes. What do you call it? Hey, folks, since we've got so many of you, and Michael Peterson, I'm looking to hear from you. We're at about that time where it's almost time for us to conduct the week's safety briefing. For those that don't know, what's the matter?
Because I work on this all day long to come up with something super slick, and then it's like game time, and I fumble, and I'm like, oh, what is it? What is it?
Not once. You have never at any point ever fumbled on this show. What are you talking about?
You give me way too many compliments, but
Whatever, man.
I'll have one.
Whatever. It's about time for the week's safety brief. So for those on Forged in Fire, okay, I have not watched that show yet, but I will. Forged in Fire. Have you seen this?
I have
What is
That's
Forged
the-
in Fire?
metal knife thing.
Oh,
They have like the blacksmith that make knives and stuff.
hell yeah! Hot sauce on a banana.
We should move
Our
on.
listeners are kind of confusing me. Hot sauce on a banana. Okay. Safety brief. So here's the deal with our safety brief. Normally, you get your safety brief. Don't set yourself in front of a cut. We're going to talk about that in a second. Normally, you get your safety brief at Final Formation on Friday. However, because our show airs on a Monday, you're getting your week's safety brief. It's got to last you till next Monday. So this advice has to last you through the weekend. So it has to be included. So I will start, and then we'll get to Michael Peterson's, and we're going to finish with one shots here. So very, very, very important. PCCs, PCIs. Check your equipment before you head to the field. Let's just say, hypothetically, you spend a lot of money on a very expensive Sport Vortex optic. You get it pay to have it mounted onto your hunting rifle. You go to the woods and then find out that it's not mounted all that well. It's shaky and loose, and your zero is now gone. So yeah, make sure you do correct PCC. Dude, I'm glad you're able to look at me that way, because I wish you could have heard the motherfucks that were coming out of my mouth when I was coming out of the woods
When I saw you
on
you
Saturday
post that
night.
picture that you had a mechanical failure, I had some motherfucks. I was like, what the fuck? And I will not say their name, but you paid a professional establishment
to mount my optic.
And it's been a nightmare ever since.
It
I helped you with it.
It has been a complete and total nightmare.
It's baffled and pissed me off at moments. So.
I would have said abortion, but yes, you're exactly right.
Oh,
yes,
God.
Craig Stakowicz, debris field reported in South Carolina after F-35 disappearance. We heard about that. That's a great part for the safety brief as well. Michael Peterson says, part of the safety brief, don't stab yourself in front of a customer, which I have done. I have also, while working as a medic, pulled out a scalpel, getting ready to drain something, and cut myself with said scalpel right there. It was actually a dog ear. And I did, in fact, cut myself with a scalpel. I know said establishment, and I have some not good experiences. Been there once. All right, man. What do you got for this week's safety brief?
I was thinking about this a lot lately, and I think this is more of a life thing than just a safety brief thing, but most all of us, if not all of us, have some amazing human beings in their life that would step up and help them out with all sorts of things. And I think a lot of us take that for granted and don't vocalize their appreciation. And I worked really hard later on in life to like start identifying that and being like, man, I really appreciate you for doing this. And I think that is kind of like, watering the plant, where the plant gets water, it grows bigger and does more, so it's that trickle down effect to like encouraging people to be there for other people and help people out.
Okay.
So be appreciative of people around you that are doing things, because you never know throughout the week when you need something.
Well done. I like what you did there.
That one wasn't funny.
It was not.
It's funny.
Hang on a second here. Found crash site. Went 2.5 deep in the belly. Good thing. I'm fat. Holy shit. That's a serious stab wound, dude. With the customer paring knife. Wow. Okay. All right. What else? Got anything else before we end the show? Ladies and gentlemen, you folks have been awesome tonight. This has been one of my favorite shows so far. We talked to Robert Garcia, Dr. Robert Garcia. Let's be upfront and clear. With Shift Magazine. Please go subscribe to Shift Magazine. Support veteran-owned businesses. Look up Michael Peterson at people and his knives. Apparently, we're gonna get him on the show before, and Spicy Mike pretty soon here. What an awesome fucking nickname.
I know, right?
What's the likelihood that we can get Milk Carton on the show?
I don't know. Oh man, can we get that pilot? That would be.
I have a new favorite interview request.
If any of you out there know how to get a hold of the pilot, also known as Milk Carton,
thank you, Joe Allen.
Help us out. We want him on the show.
Oh God, that would be so fucking epic. I'm sure
I will not make fun of him at all.
You're not being upfront and honest right now. Now I have to question your integrity. That ain't, dude. Come on, man. I'll have to tell you all the stories sometimes. I think we're going to have a 2-hour show that night, Michael Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. May I do a plug? Michael Peterson, do a plug. Plug away, dude. Plug. Next week, what if we have Troy? Troy is coming on to talk about veteran court. Listen to that one. We have some other really good shows coming up in the very near future. We encourage plugs on this show, Michael Peterson. So yeah, plug whatever you want. In the meantime, folks, we're basically out of time. Go spend time with your families. And we will see you next Monday night right here on From the Ashes. My page is Mike's Damascus LLC. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this and it's tomorrow and you're listening to this on the podcast after it's been edited and hung up, check out Mike's Damascus LLC. Apparently he makes good knives, and we're looking forward to having him on the show with Spicy Mike. So, ladies and gents, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and thanks for being here.